Touch the ball.
This is SportsCenter.
The Cards trying to even up the NLCS in Queens. Could their ace amaze the Mets in Game 2? Meanwhile, in Motown, the Tigers come up aces in Game 3. Is the ALCS all but over? Don't look now, but T.O. is actually ahead of schedule in Dallas. Have the boys reached the boiling point already? Plus, college football fans, keep it right here to find out why this Saturday the Gators will be the next #2 team to lose. Hey, what's good? Welcome to SportsCenter with Cindy Brunson. I am Scott Van Pelt. After limping into the postseason, Cindy, the Tigers now are high-stepping.
And with good reason. A's Tigers, ALCS Game 3. Battle of lefties, Scotty. Canadian native Rich Harden, very cool with the temperatures in the low 40s. Georgia-born Kenny Rogers hoping to find his Division Series Game 3 heat once again. To Comerica, the beautiful we go. Very chilly conditions. The Gambler 0-2 with an ERA of 7.59, career in the LCS. About as cold as those game-time temperatures. Top one was scoreless. Mark Kotze steps in against Kenny Rogers. Pops the ball up in foul territory. Brandon Inge over the railing. Gorgeous. It's worth another look. Inge, the catch, and he just holds on. Rogers digging the good D behind him. Bottom one, they're on the corners for Placido Polanco to right center. This off Rich Harden. Curtis Granderson scores. Polanco's 6-for-6 career against Harden. Tigers take the early 1-0 lead, and then Maglia Ordonez grounds out to short. A's get the force out at second, but Craig Monroe scores. Detroit takes the 2-0 lead. Bottom two. After walking to load the bases, Monroe strikes out swinging to end the inning. Harden gets out of a jam, keeps the A's down just 2 runs. Bottom four with 1 on and 1 out. Ramon Santiago, a fly ball to center field. Mark Kotze is there, tremendous. Your very next batter is Curtis Granderson, and he's got some power. To right center, Kotze. This time, over the shoulder. It's a grab on the run, making up for an 0-for-4 day. Check it out again. Kotze, amazing back-to-back defensive plays. In the 5th, Monroe steps in and takes Harden out. His 3rd home run of the postseason. He led the Tigers with 28 homers in the regular season. His first of this series puts the Tigers up 3-0. Plenty of run support for the Gambler. Top 6 with 2 out. Rogers gets Milton Bradley swinging 97 pitches, 63 for strikes. Top 7 with 1 out. Rogers deals and gets Jay Payton to strike out. Rogers, tremendous, keeping the A's scoreless through 7. Top 8 after walking Nick Swisher. Jim Leyland visits the mound to calm down a very excited Rogers. Leyland leaves his ace in the game. Next batter, it's Marco Scuro to ground into a fielder's choice. Rogers then exits. 7 1/3 scoreless, 2 hits, 6 Ks. Next batter, after the faithful applaud their ace, Fernando Rodney against Bobby Kelty, who grounds into the 4-6-3 double play. Rogers giddy, and why not? Tigers keep the A's scoreless through 8. They win 3-0 and take a 3-0 series lead. Huge. How about those Tigers? Their string of 6 straight postseason wins is now the longest streak in club history. A couple of firsts for the Tigers. This is the first time Detroit's led a best-of-7 Series 3 love, and the 2-hit shutout for the Tigers marks the fewest hits Detroit's ever allowed in a postseason game. Here's the Gambler after his 2nd straight scoreless start.
Kenny, what is it about turning age 40 that has turned you into the postseason pitcher that you have become?
Well, I would think a lot of it's because of past failures, and I try to learn from those. So in the past, it's been difficult to control your emotions. I tried probably the wrong way to understand how to go out there and compete in the postseason, but instead of taking the emotions out of it, I've tried to incorporate them into my game just to help me be a better pitcher, and it's working so far.
My friend over there in Boston, Frank Kona, they were in the same position, and they wound up doing it. So it's not an impossible task, but you know, you just got to do that one game at a time.
Baseball Tonight crew here now. Scott Reese with John Kruk and special guest star Dusty Baker joining us as well. And guys, the Tigers very impressive in a Game 3 victory. And speaking of impressive, Dusty, the much maligned Kenny Rogers, say less than stellar playoff resume. He blanks the Yankees. Now he blanks Oakland through 7 1/3. What's the difference?
Well, he's on a roll, and you know, when you get on a roll, you make great pitches. You know, he's mixing in a outstanding sinker. Great changeup, and he'll finish guys off, you know, with the fastball in, and sometimes throw him a BP fastball. But right now, his confidence is high, his location is great, and he's feeling good about himself, and his team's feeling good behind him.
Meanwhile, the Tigers now with that seemingly insurmountable 3-0 series lead, Crucky, and mathematically the A's are not eliminated. But what does this team have to do to get a little momentum and get back in this series?
I don't know a whole lot about math, but it's about as close as you can get to being eliminated. Well, what they have to do, Oakland, is they have to come out tomorrow against Jeremy Bonderman, or Game 4 against Jeremy Bonderman, and they have to score early. They have to prove to the Detroit Tigers that, yes, we're still in this thing, but more importantly, Danny Herron has to shut down the Tigers, because I guarantee you, if you're a position player for the Oakland Athletics, and if the Tigers come out and score first in Game 4, then you have to start thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, here we go again. They're back out on top of us. We can't beat these guys, and doubt sets in, and if it does, Oakland is done.
Of course, Detroit will send Jeremy Bonderman to the hill in Game 4, and he was the guy, lest we forget, who finished off the Yankees in the divisional series. And Dan Herron tries to keep the A's in this thing in the ALCS. That's it for us. Now back to SportsCenter.
Breakdown brought to you by McDonald's.
Alex Rodriguez was a passenger on his Gulfstream jet flying from Burbank to Las Vegas. Flight and landing were normal, but for some reason the pilot failed to turn onto the taxiway and ran into an area called the arrestor bed. Now, in and of itself, not a big deal, but given what happened about 48 hours ago in New York, makes you shake your head. Thankfully, everybody is fine. And after Corey Lytle's fatal crash, there was intense political pressure to restrict the city airspace, which one official called the Wild West. Friday, the FAA banned fixed-wing planes from flying the East River corridor of Manhattan unless the pilot is in contact with air traffic control.
Ahead, the Brooms are about to bust out in Motown. Coming up, more from the Tigers' big win in Game 3 of the ALCS. What in the world has happened to Oakland's big hitters? And he's at it again, and he's ahead of schedule, too. Coming up, just how close Bill Parcells and the Cowboys could be to a breaking point with Terrell Owens.
Not glaring. Designed, not decorated. The full-size 315 horsepower Infiniti QX56. A refined, tailored reward. Infiniti. Now lease a four-wheel drive Infiniti QX56 for $599 a month.
My father never spoke about the war or the flag raising. How people could sacrifice so much for us. The wounds they suffered. They may have fought for their country, but they died for their friends.
Flags of Our Fathers. Rated R.
SportsCenter, brought to you by Wolverine. Relentless by nature. Boots, shoes, apparel, gear. And Infiniti. Using the power of design to create dynamic, beautiful vehicles.
Terrell Owens is full of questions, from why he isn't a bigger part of the Dallas offense to why did the Cowboys bring him in, period. Maybe T.O. is inquisitive because he's off to his worst start since '99. That season, Owens only had 4 touchdown catches. This season, he's still sitting on 1. His quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, recently sent T.O. a text message saying, "Stay with me," after the receiver said he wasn't the one pulling the trigger. Ed Werder reports on what T.O. is pulling now.
Terrell Owens is still expected to start for the Cowboys in Sunday's game against the Texans, even though he was late to the team's first practice on Wednesday, which led to a heated argument between Owens and his position coach, Todd Haley. According to players, the argument ended with each screaming at the other, quote, "Don't disrespect me like that." Players say that Owens took his normal first-team reps and has a major role in the game plan this week, an indication that he won't be disciplined by Coach Bill Parcells. However, players noticed that Parcells has begun to interact differently with Owens, whereas in the past he's been very positive and reinforced him constantly. He was noticeably withdrawn, they say. Parcells did not address the Owens situation in his Friday news conference, and on Thursday said he would no longer talk about Owens. When asked why, he said, quote, "I'm tired of it."
Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said his wide receiver will not be fined for Thursday's incident. Terrell Owens is a regular Friday guest on Dan Le Batard's radio show, and today T.O. used the airwaves to air his side of the story.
He has expressed to me and the rest of the guys, receivers in that room, that anything that we talk about stays behind those doors. Dude, everybody has had moments where they've argued with each other, and we said, you know, what's said in this room stays in this room. Our argument being public now, I don't know what else I can do. I think any and everything is fixable, but at this point, dude, I feel like I have gone out on a limb because people that know me, they know I don't trust too many people. I've gone out on a limb and I've talked to Todd in a setting where we're man to man and we're being up front with each other, and then I feel like that trust has been violated. Other than him being my coach and me being respectful to him as a coach and him being respectful to me as a player, outside of that, right now we're just merely coworkers, and that's it.
Terrell Owens is one of 4 players to have at least 10 passes thrown at them per game. Owens has had 40 passes intended for him so far through 4 games, 17 for completions. Trey Wingo and the NFL Live guys on the T.O. Dharma.
Thanks. Welcome to NFL Live. Mike Golick, Darren Woodson here with me. All right, let's be honest about one thing here first. If this was any other player yelling at a position coach, it would not be a story, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, but it is this player, or the player, as Bill Parcells refers to him as, and he has a history. With that in mind, Darren, what do we make of what's going on now in Dallas?
Well, I think that, there is a little, panic right now because simply everybody's hearing about this. But in that locker room, when this Cowboys locker room, I guarantee you one thing, they are not concerned about what happened behind closed doors. It happens all the time, believe me. Not just Terrell Owens, the Roy Williams of the world, the Darren Woodsons of the world. We had arguments back when I played, and it was with position coaches, it was with head coaches. So this incident right here is not that big of a deal.
There's been arguing in the NFL forever. No doubt about it. But with that said, we've seen arguing with T.O. in San Francisco with Greg Knapp. Yelling on the sideline, having the issue with his quarterback. What happened there? Gone. Philadelphia, telling Brad Childress, the then offensive coordinator, don't even speak to me. And problems with Donovan McNabb. What happened? Gone. Now he's in Dallas, issues with the coach, not really connecting, and now issues with the wide receiver coach as well. While they can be incidents, what you see with T.O. is a pattern, and that's bad.
Here's what's maybe even more alarming about the way this is going down in Dallas. In San Francisco, it took 5-6 years to get to this point. In Philadelphia, it was in the start of the second season it got to this point. We're not even 5 games into the Cowboys' first season, and the pattern is starting again.
Yeah, but you know what? But it's not. I don't think we're fully there just yet. When the problem I saw last year when T.O. was in Philadelphia is that locker room was totally divided. You had T.O. on one side, Donovan McNabb on the other side, and everybody was on one side or the other. We haven't gotten there just yet. Now it may happen, but right now we're not there.
The Cowboys are hoping it never gets there, but that may be betting against history.
Oh, it never ends, does it? More NFL straight ahead, including which one player will be the difference maker when the Eagles and the Saints hook up, and who says it won't be Reggie Bush. And a College Game Day upset alerts on the way. It's been a rough season for the nation's number 2 team. Up next, which one of our experts says the hits will keep on coming for number 2.
Shall we raise our shields, Captain?
At ease, Mr. Chekhov. Again with the shields. I wish he'd just relax and enjoy the amazing picture clarity of the DirecTV HD we just hooked up. With what Starfleet just ponied up for this big screen TV, settling for cable would be illogical. What? I can't use that line?
For picture quality that beats cable, you've got to get DirecTV.
Buffalo Wild Wings. You have to be here.
I'm Mayor Ed Koch, and I'm a Democrat, and I'm proud to support Congressman Pete King. Pete King is a national leader in the war against Islamic terrorism. Pete fights hard to get our police and firefighters the money and the equipment they need. Pete King is never afraid to speak out. Pete King supports the Patriot Act and letting law enforcement profile for terrorists, and so do I. Please vote for Pete King. I love the guy.
This is Pete King, and I approve this message paid for by Pete King for Congress.
They were really good, and they lived in the house. Want to change the color of him, and it has legs, and I don't know what it is. And just worms and some bugs, but his head is so tiny.
Who would you give a Volvo to? Tell us at volvocars.us.
Visit your local Volvo retailer for this special lease on a brand new 2007 XC90 3.2 all-wheel drive.
First meeting between Pittsburgh and Central Florida. A win for the Panthers. They're bowl eligible. Dave Wannstedt's first year, rough. This year, much better. You see the record 5-1, the best since '82. And the Pitt coach is warning their guys not to let this game be a trap. They've got Rutgers coming up next week. How far has Rutgers come? The coaches are now warning their players not to forget about them. The team they're playing right now, and it's UCF, and that's a touchdown right out of the gates. Lowell Robinson gets a block from TJ Porter, and it's 7-0 Pittsburgh. Rutgers, be warned. Pittsburgh is not going to fall into the trap, and you see TJ Porter, a great block on the kicker. Pitt was up, and they were absolutely rolling. Here comes Murad Stevens howling. He had a $135. They scored 52. Finished the season with West Virginia and Louisville. The game day guys now from Auburn.
He's a legend at Auburn. Vincent Bo Jackson won the Heisman in '85. It's the last running back from this league, the SEC, to win the Heisman Trophy. It's tough to gain yards on the ground against these defenses. Florida comes in here to Auburn on Saturday, halfway through their 4-game gauntlet, and ranked at number 2. Now, the BCS standings come out on Sunday. You only have to be 1 or 2 to be on track for the championship game. But number 2 has been a very hard position to hold down so far this season. Texas was preseason number 2. Ohio State rolled into Austin. Troy Smith and company coming out with the big win. Longhorns got bounced out of that spot. Then Notre Dame. They took on Michigan. But the Irish, ranked number 2, were bombed in South Bend 47-21. They dropped down to the polls. They're now climbing back up. And then Auburn was number 2, and Arkansas came in here and took it behind their own woodshed. McFadden and company physically manhandled Auburn. So the Gators, with the big win against LSU, they move up to number 2, but can they hold it coming in here? It's a big if, a major challenge for Florida. Yep. Time now for our speed drills, and the top 10 team most likely to go down. 5 of them unbeaten teams go on the road.
Florida, the reason why they play here at Auburn at night, the crowd will be crazy. Auburn has urgency and redemption going for them. Urgency, they got to win the SEC West, and redemption, they lost before their families and friends. This is a scary game for Florida.
You always talk about urgency and redemption, and I'm with you 100%. Florida has to be careful. A lot of people going like this right now to the Florida Gators, believing that this team can run through the SEC. This will be their toughest stop, I think, along the way at night against Auburn, coming off a loss. Auburn has to win. Florida better be careful.
Here we are into October, about the midway point of the season. Which team in your mind has the most to prove on Saturday?
Missouri. You know why? They're 6-0, and they're the first time in 33 years they're 6-0. And listen to this. There's 12 teams ranked with 1 loss ahead of them. No respect at all for Missouri. They get a chance. Texas A&M sounds good.
You know what? I'm finally buying into this Missouri team you've been talking about for the last few weeks, and the Chase thing got me. Chase Down, the quarterback. Exactly. I'm going to say it's Auburn, and I know we just talked about him, but I really believe that Auburn in the last 2 weeks, it's been very lackluster performances, and I think Brandon Cox, as far as a player with something to prove, they've got to be able to throw the football to have any chance of running the ball against this Gator defense. It is very opportunistic, so I think it's the Auburn Tigers with the most to prove after the way they played against Arkansas.
Offense and defense, something to prove.
You're right.
Off that loss. Which team ought to be on upset alert Saturday?
My Cal team. Watch out. I'm telling you. My friend to my left here picked an upset. Washington State over USC. And it almost happened. I'm telling you. Cal, watch out. Bill Dover can coach and get those guys ready. Washington State like a fox chicken around a chicken coop. Yeah!
Look out. I think North Carolina State better be careful, guys. I talked to you about 2 weeks ago in the locker room that you're going to beat Florida State and then go out and lose to Wake. I told you you're going to beat Florida State. Now prove me wrong and beat Wake Forest, and it's nasty. It's a noon kick on JP. You get lulled to sleep in the past. I'm telling you guys, show up ready to play Chuck Amato's boys, and you'll be fine. But don't let that JP factor come into effect. Show up ready.
Little known factor, they're the nooner on JP. They're in first place, 3-0 in the ACC.
Show
or
some
NC
moxie.
State. Coach up, Cal.
Show up some moxie.
Cal's lost 10 in a row in the Palouse, by the way, Lee. College Game Day from the Plains.
better watch
10 a.m.
out for
See you Saturday morning. Coach them up.
Here they come.
We'll be watching Best Show of the Week. Now on ESPN.com, Scouts Inc. writes that Florida's a confident squad, but Coach Tubbs, Tommy Tuberville, will not allow his team to get outplayed 2 weeks in a row.
Including playoffs, the Eagles have won 6 straight against the Saints, and they look to extend their win streak in New Orleans to 5. In the battle of 4-1 divisional leaders, the Saints' 9th-ranked pass defense goes against Donovan McNabb, who leads the NFL in pass yards and touchdowns. Time now for your NFL Field Pass.
Injury report.
The Saints may be the healthiest team in the league. All 53 players practice all week. Can't say the same for the Eagles. Dante Stallworth not able to go on his hamstring. Looks like he's out. And it's still iffy on Brian Westbrook. Didn't practice on Friday. Game time decision.
Key matchup.
We all know Reggie Bush is leading the league in receptions, but he's going to have a tough matchup this week. Eagles safety Brian Dawkins is one of the best in the business, and he's going to be on Reggie Bush like glue.
Difference maker.
It's the Reggie Bush show. Reggie Bush catching the football out of the backfield. He's about ready to break out in the running game, though. Watch out, because he's going to get a big one and score a couple touchdowns.
Prediction.
The rushing of Brian Westbrook. That's right, I said the rushing of Brian Westbrook will be the difference as the Eagles prevail 27-24.
So far unbeaten and looking like they could stay that way for a long while. Coming up, why the secret to the 5-0 Bears this season is a total team effort. And remember how Frank Thomas almost single-handedly powered Oakland into the ALCS? On the way, why that seems like a long time ago right about now for the A's.
Dad, is it just over the ridge?
What's over there?
The kids are growing up, and retirement is getting closer. Will we be ready? Really ready? As in, we don't have to live out here in the woods and eat berries ready?
For 150 years, people have been working with Northwestern Mutual to put their minds at ease. Northwestern Mutual. Insurance, investments, ideas.
No more secrets. Where are we going for our honeymoon?
A romantic island in the south.
Jamaica?
Credit card miles are blacked out. A little more south.
Antigua?
Blacked out further south.
Aruba?
Getting warmer. Isn't this great? Did you notice? No bugs.
We gotta switch to Capital One.
Get Capital One's new no-hassle rewards. Now with no blackout dates, no earn caps, and no miles expiration. Check your mailbox.
Hey, it's walrus mating season.
What's in your wallet?
Flight 27 has been canceled due to weather. Our next departure is 6 a.m. tomorrow.
No, hey, lady.
It's time to play Take on Orbits. Today's players have bad weather, must book a hotel before the other 200 passengers. Go.
Oakwood?
Yes. Dentmore. Oh, no vacancy. Orbits TLC lets you find a hotel right from your phone. Next time, Orbits and go.
Time for NFL Quick Hits. Cardinals corner Antrell Roll was fined $12,500 by the league for this face mask on Larry Johnson in the Cards' loss to the Chiefs Sunday. Roll was fined earlier this year for a horse collar tackle on Seahawks Shaun Alexander. Detroit wide receiver Roy Williams practiced Friday after resting a sore back the previous 2 days. Williams is listed as probable, and the Lions expect him to start against the Bills Sunday. And Redskins corner Sean Springs will be a game-time decision with a groin Sunday. Springs hasn't played this season. He's officially listed as questionable. For more NFL, here's Chris Berman and the 2-minute drill.
Gay.
It's a football weekend beginning with Friday the 13th.
Some friendly advice from the Swami. Don't walk under ladders. Stay away from cracked mirrors. And observe your neighborhood black cat from a distance, even if it's yours. Oh, and football advice? You might want to avoid playing the Chicago Bears.
Well, I'm good.
Defense.